This rhyme was written by Isaac Watts and familiarized by the book Alice in Wonderland. The answer to the question posed is in fact scientific and relies heavily upon temperature, light, and radio frequencies. One can only conclude that something is affecting the way the bee operates, be it these three elements or not, because since around 2006, bee colonies started deteriorating at an unusually rapid rate, and whole hives were abandoned. Bees literally went out to forage and never returned, disappearing without a trace. With little knowledge as to what was causing this phenomenon, the problem was called colony collapse disorder, or CCD for short. After reading papers on CCD extensively, it seems that no one knows yet the exact cause. Many possible theories have been put forward for research, such as pesticides, mite infestation, viruses, various diseases, genetically modified food, and radiation. But conclusive answers are still yet to be found. This quote demonstrates the lack of answers and the frustration felt by many who are studying the phenomenon. I found the radiation theory to be very interesting and read about several very convincing research projects. Scientists in India selected 6 colonies, test colonies and control colonies. The test colonies had mobile phone exposure of 900 MHz a day for 10 days. The results of this very short experiment are shown here to be very devastating. After just 10 days, the bees going to and from the hive were nil, and the queen, who usually made 355 eggs per day, was laying only 100. This experiment followed the proliferation of mobile towers in India and the subsequent CCD occurrence. Scientists from Switzerland also carried out an experiment using mobile phones, but this time recording the sound that bees make to monitor their behavior changes. They used 2 mobile phones and a sound recorder that was connected to a microphone. The mobile phones were used in 3 modes for extensive time while recording the bees' noise patterns: inactive, standby mode, and activated. During the inactivated and standby modes, the bees' sound patterns were consistent and normal. After activating the mobile phones using a hands-free controller, the sound reactions were quite different. The bees remained calm in the beginning, but gradually their sound increased in amplitude and frequency, reaching peak at 30 minutes. This experiment was carried out extensively, and after much further research, it was determined that the bees were worker piping, the defensive sound made by an irate bee. The survival of the bee, both wild and managed, is imperative to the ecosystem. Their decline is something that needs to be taken seriously, as honeybees constitute one of the most efficient natural pollinators of a wide range of wild flora and staple crops in the world. They pollinate over 60% of plant species. If human activities drive them to extinction, many plant species will be lost and diversity will be affected greatly. The very fact that the bees were upset by the microwaves is disturbing, and it is disturbing because this possible cause, along with many others, is controlled by people. We have the power to sustain life on Earth or to destroy it. Some suggested methods of improving the livelihood of bees and reducing the risk of CCD have been protecting the beehives with electromagnetic radiation-resistant materials and enforcing laws regarding placement of towers. The only thing that ordinary people such as you and I can do about this problem is do what we can in our individual way. And since there is currently little funding for research, this is one way in which we can help.